I have a message that is so strong on my heart for some of you out there today. And I'm hoping that no matter what's going on in your life right now, you're able to take just a few minutes to unplug, to kind of fully opt in to this message. Open your heart, open your hands, open your mind, and just take a deep breath. Let's release all the chaos around us or whatever's happening or the things we feel like we can't control and just say, okay, God, I want what you have for me today. All right. Are you in? Are you ready? Okay, let's go. So if you've been listening to me or hanging out with me at all in the last couple of months, you've probably heard me reference that I'm in my healing era, right? I'm trying to make it light. I'm trying to make it sound amazing. But if you have pursued healing, you know that it's hard and you know that it's messy. I don't want to get emotional already, but I want to encourage some of you who have been avoiding your healing era. You have been keeping busy doing all the other things, not really letting the feelings happen for you. And you know what? To be honest, I'm going to talk about me pursuing physical healing, but it so correlates and lines up with pursuing spiritual healing, mental healing, emotional healing, relational healing, all of the different areas. So I don't know which one it is that you need some healing in. But would you be open today to the Lord revealing that to you, to letting it surface? Now, some of you are like, I know what mine is. Like, I don't even, you already know. But some of us, we might have something that is there deep in a locked space inside of our heart that we have just been trying to travel with. And, I heard someone talking about this on a different podcast recently. And they were just talking about how, say, if you were to get injured and you maybe break your collarbone or tear your rotator cuff or a little something, right? But you don't really feel like you need it dealt with. You're just going to kind of learn to live with the injury. You're going to have to learn new ways of operating and ways of working, and they're not really at full capacity, but you can figure out how to move on. Okay, maybe not with a broken collarbone, but with a torn rotator cuff. I've had one of those, okay? And you can move on. It'll affect the way you lift, the way you push, the way you trust, the way you walk a little bit, what you can carry. And you just kind of are moving on thinking, well, it's fine. Right? No one can notice. No one knows what's happened to me. No one. But the thing is, everybody is aware. They're aware of that something's a little off. They're not sure what it is, but they can see you guarding, right? Like with my back pain for 9 years, I have learned this horrible way of guarding myself. And though it may protect that part of me, it's causing problems in the other aspects of my physical body. Okay. Well, we do the same thing emotionally. And a lot of us are carrying things, maybe injuries, past trauma, hurt, rejection, fear, disappointment, to say a few. Okay. But we think that no one can notice. And yet it comes through in our communication, in our relationships, in our lack of trust, and our codependence, in all of these different areas of our lives. And so I want to encourage you today. I want to invite you to explore the areas in your life that might need some healing, that might need some attention. Okay. You've often heard me ask, what are you avoiding that needs attention in your health, in your life, in your confidence, in your dreaming, whatever it may be? Now, when I realized I waited in faith for that year mark to come after my L5S1 spinal fusion that I had in November of 2023. And at the year mark, when there's zero pain relief, they'll sometimes put you in a category of, failed surgery. So that's it. You're now in that category of failed back surgery, and you can try to explore what else you're willing to do. So I knew that I had to kind of travel a different path. And I'll be honest, it was hard to not let that defeat disappointment, all the money, all the time, all the energy, all of the effort that was made in hopes. And this was like my last case scenario. Like, I did not want to do surgery. I waited a really long time. And for it not to work was really defeating. And I had to cry a little bit about that. And I had to have a few rough days. And then I had to make a decision because I didn't want to stay down. And I didn't want to stay frustrated or defeated. And so I realized, okay, it's time to get back into physical therapy. It's time to do all the things that I can do. There's a lot I can't do and a lot I can't control, but maybe if I put all my focus on what I can do. So I went to my doctor again, and I have been on a nerve pain medicine that's temporarily helping and masking it, but I know that at some point that's no longer going to work. And so I need to have a real plan. And he suggested a certain physical therapy office in town. And so I went there and I made an appointment, and I was really upfront with the therapist about my journey. And I definitely cried a little bit and just said, this is hard for me to start again. It's hard for me to have hope again. And I'm not putting all this pressure on you, but I'm just telling you, I really want some change. I want some relief. I want some healing. And he gave me, I don't even want to call it a pep talk because I don't even think that gives it justice. But before we got to work, he sat down and he laid out some expectations. And I thought that conversation was really powerful. And as I'm now 3 months into physical therapy, I keep going back to that conversation that we had at that first consult appointment. And I want to share that with you because sometimes even having the expectations of what is possible or what's realistic is really key for our success when we embark on an adventure. I'll call it an adventure, such as healing. Okay. And so I want you to think about this. He sat me down and he said, this is going to be hard. Great. I'm feeling super motivated. I was like, this is depressing. But I looked at him because I was like, I'm here. Tell me what to do. Tell me what needs to happen. And I've had, physical therapy offices in the past kind of give up on me, or when I'm in pain, they send me away to a doctor or to the chiropractor, to different people, tell me to go get more scans. They haven't been willing to take the journey with me. And I guess, to be honest, I haven't been willing to take the journey with them. And so he said, this journey with me, it's going to be hard, but you can do hard things. And I want to tell you today that if you're going to join me and then decide that you're going to embark on your healing era and you're going to commit to it and you're going to take claim to it and you're going to put in the work, it's going to be hard. So don't ever say that I said it was going to be easy. It's going to be hard. Know that before you sign up. Okay? Emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of it, financially, wherever you need health and healing, relationally, come on, in your marriage, in other family relationships, all of it. It's going to be hard. But you can do hard things. It's going to take work. The hard work and the heart work. It's going to take showing up on the good days and on the bad days and disciplining yourself to not let other things make you cancel that appointment or make you feel defeated. And it's going to take the internal heart work of continuing to show up, battling your disappointment, your defeat, your slow progress, all of the things, right? It's going to take both the hard work and the heart work. And you are capable. But know that before you commit. Hard work and heart work. That's what you're signing up for. It's going to be painful. Yep. Does this sound fun yet? How many of you know that when you embark on a healing journey, it gets messier before it gets better? If you are going to decide that you need some assistance, which I'll be honest, and I'll get to this in a little bit, like most of us do, all of us need some assistance. We can't just take this healing journey on our own. And yes, God can help us and his word speaks to us. And that is a huge part of my journey in the small daily actions. Okay. When nobody's watching, because that's where the real success and growth happens, It's not when I just go to my appointments a couple times a week. It's not when I can do the work in front of the trainer, right? That's kind of the easier part, as long as you don't cancel. The hard part is the day in and day out of catching the old mindsets and realigning them to the new goals. It's doing the small, what feels stupid exercises every day when no one is watching and checking on me to see if I'm doing them. But if I'm going to build core strength at the very foundation of my body, then I have to work at it every day. Every day. And nobody's there watching me. And I feel silly and it feels stupid and I don't necessarily see the progress, but sometimes I feel like I'm going backwards and not forwards, but I have to trust the process. How about when you go to clean your closet? Dear Lord, I know. Do you ever do that? And then all of a sudden, like a couple hours in, your closet floor is covered, stuff is all over your bed. It's now heading towards the living room because it gets messier before it gets cleaner. And it gets more difficult before it gets better. Right? When I'm testing my body and making it do things that it hasn't done in a really long time, it's going to hurt. But that pain is something I have to push through because I'm making those muscles come back to life. And when it comes to emotional and spiritual and relational healing, you know what? Bringing up some of that stuff, that those hurts, that pain, the rejection, the past trauma, those things, it gets messier before it gets better. And that's why this can never be the replacement of therapy or medical advice or any of that. So I'll bring that disclaimer out front right now. Okay. And I have needed therapists in my life because it gets messy. And I need someone to continue to draw out the gold and draw out the darkness inside and expose it to the light so that I can be healed. Right. And for some of us, that's the first step that we need to take is we need to be praying a prayer and saying, God, would you please bring anything that is not part of your abundant life and the plan that you have for me, any behavior, any limiting belief, any fear, any frustration, anything from my past that I'm holding on to, any bit of unforgiveness, would you bring it to the light and expose it so that I can be in position for healing? Are you willing to pray that prayer? Are you willing to do that? Because it gets a little messier at first, but you're on your path to freedom. And there are going to be some days that you absolutely want to quit. Maybe you made new goals and commitments at the beginning of January for your physical health or for emotional well-being, for your finances, and you have slipped into those old habits. Okay, one reminder, growth takes time. Okay, but here's the deal. Don't quit. You're going to face obstacles along the way. Don't quit. You are sometimes going to be your biggest enemy. Don't quit. And if you get discouraged or derailed, you start to sabotage, get back up. Do you know what takes even more courage than starting? Starting again. Now listen, what happened to get you here may have been complicated or traumatic, probably difficult to say the least. It may have involved other people, but for you to move on from this place, it's about you. Okay, hear that. What will you choose to do at this place, at this crossroads right now? Are you willing to take responsibility for your healing? You don't have to take responsibility for that rejection or that fear or that hurt or that betrayal or whatever it may be. But now the choice is yours. Will you take responsibility for your healing? Will you make the decision that you don't want to stay here? Will you begin to shift your perspective that things didn't happen to you, but they happened for you? And what might happen if you place all of this baggage that you've been carrying, all of this pain, what would happen if you put it in the hands of Jesus? What might he do when he turns pain into purpose, ashes into beauty, right? Mourning into joy? That's what he promises if we let him. If we let him. Psalm 34. Oof, I love this psalm. It says this. I love it. Psalm 34, 17-19 says, "Yet when holy lovers of God cry out to him with all their hearts, the Lord will hear them and come to rescue them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to all whose hearts are crushed by pain, and he is always ready to restore the repentant one. Even when bad things happen to the good and godly ones, the Lord will save them and not let them be defeated by what they face." Come on. Who is receiving that today? When we cry out, number one, the Lord hears us. He comes to rescue us from our troubles. He draws near to those whose hearts are crushed by pain. And even when bad things happen to the good and godly ones, the Lord will save them and not let them be defeated by what they face. If we will cry out to him, if we will repent, if we will partner with him, if we will trust him and rely on his word and seek him, then what happens? We will not be defeated by what we face. Anyone else taking claim to that today? Thank you, Jesus. Okay. You can say it with me. I am not defeated by what I face. I am not defeated by what I face. Let it get in your spirit and in your mind and inside of you today, that truth. Go write it on your bathroom mirror. Go put it on a Post-it note. I am not defeated by what I face. I choose to trust in the Lord. I choose to believe that he will honor his word and his promises, right? Whew. Let me tell you this. It's going to be a team effort. That's what my therapist told me. It's going to be a team effort. You will need to work with me and your doctor and your trainer, and we all need to be on the same page and committed to your success. Are you surrounded by people who are committed to your success? That always seems to come up, doesn't it? Because if we are going to be in our healing era, we sure could use some support. So who do you have around you? What circle are you intentionally creating of people that support you, love you, and not support you in the, oh, if you don't feel like it, that's all right. You do you. No, they say, hey, you committed to doing this. You are capable. They call the greatness out of you. They remind you of the commitments that you made, right? They help defend your dream and your why. Let's talk about that why for a second. Your why must be clear. You have to have that end goal in mind. You have to know what you're fighting for and that it's worth it. Does that why get you out of bed in the morning when it would be way easier to stay there? Does that why help you get uncomfortable? Because it's so easy to settle into comfort and mediocrity. Does that why, that future vision of your health, of your relationships, of yourself, that vision of your future self, is it calling you onward and upward every day? If not, I would venture to say you have a little bit of work to do, because that's what a fresh, clear vision should do. It causes us to have urgency, necessity, strength, fortitude, grit, meaning, significance. Okay? because I will be here and be an amazing grandmother. I want to be able to play on the floor. I want to be able to chase my kids at the park. I witnessed this yesterday. It was like kids were off school. I went with my nieces and nephews to some kind of jumpy park thing. And there was a grandma there with three of her grandchildren. And the youngest one was probably 3 or 4. And it was time to leave, but she legitimately couldn't catch him. Luckily, she was able to send one of the older kids out and about to go find him and bring him back. But I could tell she was frustrated and a little upset and frazzled. And I actually, as a health coach, have talked with many women who have a goal of getting healthy so they can chase their grandchildren. I didn't realize it was such a thing, but if you can't chase your grandchildren, are you going to be able to take them to the park or the pool or to Disney? Because you know what happens? Kids run. And if you have a fear that you are going to lose one of your grandchildren, you're not going to do those things. You're not going to go make those memories and you're going to be frustrated. And so, one of my commitments is that I will be a grandmother who has the time, the ability physically, and the financial means to create those memories with future generations. That is a strong why for me. I want to be able to ride roller coasters. I want to be able to swim in the ocean and not worry about things. I want to be free from some of this fear around my body and my spine and my pain and be able to just be focused on all my loved ones. What is your why? That future version of you, is she calling you onward? Is she saying, do the work? It will be worth it? Is she saying, hey, this situation that happened, you get to decide bitter or better? Choose the better path. Do the hard work and the heart work of healing so that you have the relationships and the marriage and the friendships that you so desire, so that you can love yourself, so that you can love others more fully. What is your why? Is that clear? Is it up in front of you and leading you daily? Because you're going to need that in this journey. That's what my PT said. He said, you're going to need to know what your ultimate goal is, and you're going to have to focus on that. It will be worth it. Celebrate along the way. That's what I had to learn. Because you know what? We don't just arrive suddenly at our destination. And if we're not careful, because sometimes we can't see the progress happening as we're setting out to achieve these new goals, we can get frustrated and want to quit. It's so important that we celebrate along the way. Those different mile markers, those different milestones that represent growth. Maybe I don't feel like my muscle mass has gone up a ton, but I do know that I've been showing up. I've been consistent. I didn't give up. I can do more minutes on the treadmill at a greater incline than I've been able to in months. Okay. I can do my exercises with more weight on my bar than when I started. I can do my planks a little bit longer and my one leg bridges longer and more of them. That is growth that I need to celebrate because I can't see my core strength evolving and growing and strengthening. I can't see it happening in the mirror, but I have these small measurements. Now, listen, when I go to the gym, the regular gym with, my husband or my son or my daughters, I get intimidated and I look around and I get a little derailed because I can't do what any of these people are doing. If my friends want to go on a hike or they want to go to a fitness class, I still have to say, no, I can't do that yet, but one day. And that is my goal. I will be hiking mountains. I will be doing group fitness classes. That's part of my why that is calling me onward. But right now, I have to be careful because if I look to the right or to the left, it looks like, man, I'm never going to catch up to them. What I'm doing doesn't compare to them. But I have to stop comparing, stay in my lane, and celebrate my progress. And I can't wait on someone else to celebrate me. No, that's my job. I can acknowledge, I can be my biggest cheerleader. I can give myself pep talks when no one else is around. And I do that. Sometimes I even high five myself. I'm just saying, don't make it out to be weird, but I know I'm not alone. But we have got to celebrate ourselves and the growth and the progress that we're making so that we keep the momentum to not give up. And listen, there are going to be times where you have to take your pride, your insecurity, and your ego, and you got to put them in check. Make them submit to your why. Because I can't tell you, and it's been annoying. That's the best word I have to describe it. It's been annoying that when I walk into the physical therapy office, I can feel myself wanting to shrink back. I feel embarrassed that I'm here because most of the days I'm surrounded by people who are 30 to 40 years older than me. Okay, maybe not that much. I'll give them a little credit, and I'm a little older than I think I am sometimes. Either way, I don't feel like I should have to be there. And if I'm not careful, I can derail in these thought patterns that do not serve me. God, why am I here? Why can't I just have a normal body? Why can't my body work the way that it's supposed to? I've tried hard to pursue health. Why is it that I can't just be thriving? Why do I have to go through this trial? Why did you let that happen? Why did those car accidents happen? Why? And you know what? It doesn't serve me. It doesn't. It puts me in a bad mood. It makes me upset. My ego just hates going there and having these like 20-year-olds walking around with me doing these exercises that I feel like I should be able to do. And you know what? At the end of the day, I got to put that ego in check and that pride in check and that insecurity in check and that heartache in check because it's not serving me. And that doesn't mean I can't process that pain or I can't feel it. I think it's so. One of my daughters was having a really sad episode the other day and she was upset that she was upset. And I said, girlfriend, let's just let yourself feel it. Let's let it move through you. Because if it doesn't move through you, then it's going to stay in you and it's going to stay stuck. And that's actually going to bring about far worse situations and results. That's what's going to happen if you're not careful. So let yourself feel it and then let it move through you and surrender it. Okay. Because we don't want it to get stuck there. And I know so many women who have found themselves in similar situations with their bodies and with their feelings. And you wonder why. Why isn't my body doing what it's supposed to? Maybe that's with health, with losing weight, with getting pregnant, with staying pregnant, with postpartum, with perimenopause. My gosh, women, we are so amazing. We go through so many things. We are overcomers. I just look around and I see so many brave, courageous women who are overcoming such difficult things. And I want to acknowledge you if you are a fighter and a warrior and you've been overcoming and maybe no one's acknowledged you or seen you recently. Can I just see you? Can you just know that the Lord sees you and he's got a great plan for you and he is going to meet you right where you are in the midst of that pain. He's going to draw near to those who are crushed in pain, who are brokenhearted. He is right there. Now listen, as much as I'm going to tell you that you're going to have days where you push through, you're also going to have days where you are gentle to yourself because you can't always command yourself to suck it up and work it out. There are days where it's actually in gentleness and in love as you meet yourself where you are. You whisper, let's start again tomorrow. We can do this. It's okay. You're doing a great job. It's going to be worth it. Keep going. I see you. I say that to myself. I see you because I have a deep need to be seen, but I don't want to put it on everybody else. It's not everybody else's responsibility. God sees me. I see me. When I'm needing to be seen, sometimes I will let my husband know, or I have that circle that I'm intentional with. He sees you. Be gentle with yourself. Love yourself. Give yourself grace. Not to let things slide all the time. Not to give up. Not to settle. Not to compromise. But to love yourself enough to keep showing up. Maybe you're not always at 100%. Maybe sometimes I get to my appointment late and I put in a good, strong 30 minutes or 45 minutes instead of 60, but I still showed up. Set some standards to which you are going to call yourself to, and then love yourself enough to keep going. And one of the things that I loved that my physical therapist said to me, and that often Dan and I even say to our coaches, he said, if you will keep showing up and doing the work and trusting me, I will be here with you. He was saying, I'm not going to give up. You may have had experiences where someone gave up on you, or they referred you elsewhere, or they looked at you like, I don't know how to help you. I'm committed to helping you get results, to helping you get pain relief. I'm committed. If you will do your part, I will do mine. And I want to share with you that that's how I want to close today. I feel like the Lord wants you to know, hey, if you will, then I will. What does he say in his word? If you draw near to me, I will draw near to you. James 4:8. If you ask, and it will be given. If you knock, the door will be opened. If you seek, you will find. Keep on asking, keep on knocking, keep on seeking. I get a little sassy with my dad, my Abba Father, and I say, hey, you promised me in your word. And he's promising you, if you will trust him, he will give you peace. If you will ask in faith and not doubt, he will give you wisdom. Okay, he's faithful to heal. He's faithful to provide. He's faithful to reveal. He's faithful. Okay, let me pray for you. Father, I just thank you for every person that is listening right now. And though I don't know their circumstances, their situations, their heartaches, you do, God. And I pray that right now they would just have such a sense of peace, even in this moment, God, that they would look up to you, that they would take their eyes off their circumstances and put their eyes on the author and the finisher and the perfecter of their faith, that you would help them to run the race that you've marked out for them, God. Not looking to the right or to the left, not letting life distract. No, but that they would hold fast to what you have called them to do. And if something inside of them was revealed today, if you brought something to the surface, an emotion, a feeling, a situation, just maybe the fact that they need to pursue healing in this time, that it is available for them, but it's going to take some work, that you would remind them that you will give them the strength to do hard things, that you will bring them comfort, and that, Lord, you have made them capable through you. So we thank you for that. Please give everybody here next steps to follow through after they decide, yes, I want to be healed, whole, and free. What's that next step for me? God, reveal that to them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I hope this blessed you. I hope that you feel the love I have for you coming right through the screen as you watch, or your ears as you listen. And I pray that if someone comes to your mind as you listen, or you thought of them during this episode, that you just share it with them. Let me know if this ministered to you, if it helped you in any way. I love your feedback. Tag me in a story. Share with me. I'm so grateful to be on this journey as we build our brave together.